I'm also gonna get my hero ready. Keep in mind he's still not really all that leveled up, and I am going to worry for his safety a bit when we get out into the Dwemer world. So he might not go in the portal first thing. I might try to clear it out with, say, some soldiers, and then deal with it. But okay, it looks like we can actually capture Snake Gate. So let's do that. My prize. You're dead. It is almost tempting actually to just say this is where I'm going to build my fortress. I think it'll still be able to like hit, like, see, you can hit stuff there. So I think it'll still be able to cover that. It saves me a settler. I don't know. I'm not 100% on it. Otherwise, it's just like tear it down, use a settler to build here. The problem is on swampland. I forget if swamp. Well, let's find some. Let's find some ancient swamp somewhere. Okay, but it does have a movement penalty, but yeah, a minus 50% defense. I think that also applies to cities. So I really don't want that there. I want it here where it actually has a boost to defense. So yeah, we're gonna burn Snake Gate down, but not before maybe doing some damage to these nuisances. They're sending so many units through the portal. It's really getting kind of obnoxious. Oh well. You know, I guess I understand their motivation. You know, they're monsters. They're always hungry. They need a lot of food, and they see this all this farmland are thinking, oh, it's easy pickings. But you know, we have the light of a gorilla guiding us. Although, would light be the right term? I don't know. Yeah. See, I have to like just destroy it. I can't convert it. That's right. Um, I'm gonna hold it for a little while, and the reason why is I'm gonna hold it until I clear all this out, and then I'll move the settler over here, and then I'll destroy this, and then I can build here. I mean, another option is maybe like up in here, but I think you'll actually get. I forget if you get. It looks like when you build a city, the defense bonuses possibly go away. Let me. Can't quite tell. Okay, he's giving me an offer. What is this offer? The same BS as before, and I guarantee, like, if I accept that, he'll send a settler immediately through the gate. And I want him to be completely cut off. I don't want him to be able to, like, um, continually do this, these annoying shenanigans where we make peace, but then he sends the city in and builds the city, and then sends an army in and attacks me again. I want there to be a really solid defensive line right next to the gate. You know, and I want like all the land around it to be claimed by me already. So even if he does get through with a settler and some kind of little army, he's gonna have a whole bunch of large, healthy, dangerous cities shooting fireballs and stuff at him. So that's my goal. I kind of want this whole place to be settled before any of that happens. Right. I was. Oh yeah, I was gonna. I'm gonna go in and make him, but I won't send him out yet because I still like the whole idea of like, oh, we have a little enclave of traditional elven practices going on, almost like a reservation. To be fair, like the Indian reservations, it was, oh gosh, like if you want to be ashamed of you know your civilization, just look what you know the United States did to the Native Americans. It's just horrible. But I don't know. Like I think we're doing this more in the spirit of most of these guys want to convert, but we're gonna give them some land to be their own. It's not all that far away from where they lived initially, and it'll be their little free city. They can do what they want with it. So I don't know. To be fair, I'm sure back in the day that's exactly what the U.S. government thought they were doing. They thought they were doing like a favor or whatever.
Let's have some fun.
But I mean, obviously, that's not how it went down. It's like, how can we eliminate your culture? Oh, I have some thoughts on that. It's just
ready to help.
And I think, I did a work study program, right? And this was out in Minnesota. And basically, part of my job, we wanted to figure out what used to be the native species in the area for plants. So that essentially the U.S. government had bought up some old farmland, and they wanted to essentially remove any invasive species and then plant native ones so they would have a native prairie. And it was a pretty cool concept, but there wasn't any science back. Well, there was science back in the 18th century, but people didn't really keep careful records of exactly what species lived in an area. And we literally don't know what used to live out in Minnesota, like what wild plants used to live there. But the native peoples did, and they have oral traditions in the area to that effect. So part of my job was to actually go through Native American folklore of the region, and essentially from that figure out, because they have all these sort of like traditions of, this plant, this lead plant is medicinal, or this plant has the, like for instance, lead plant, I'm beyond the amount of cities I'm supposed to have? When did that happen? Ooh. I thought that wasn't a problem. Okay. Oh, it's because I captured Snake Gate. Yeah, I need to destroy the city. Sooner rather than later, but I'm going to leave it for a little bit longer. Just until I clear this out. Yeesh. Alright, who else needs orders? But yeah, so the lead plant, it's a native, it's actually a really helpful plant to see on a prairie because it's a relative of, it's not a relative of the pea family, but it has a similar adaptation where it's essentially it's mycorrhiza. It's a very small root system. The microfilaments of plants shoot out from the roots. It actually has little nodules, and in those nodules, sympathetic bacteria can grow. And what this bacteria does is it excretes nitrogen. And the nice thing about that is plants need nitrogen, but it's actually a rare element in the soil. So because it has that adaptation, it makes the soil more fertile. And let's just order the rest. And essentially rejuvenates the soil just by growing in it. So when you see that on a prairie, it means that the lead plant is kind of keeping the soil healthy, and other plants are maybe a bit more sensitive to soil conditions have a good chance, like the prairie orchids. So.
Aim, release.
And so lead plant, to the Native Americans though, they also felt that the plant, they had kind of a little potion that they would make from it where they take lead plant leaves and they roll it with buffalo fat and a couple of other ingredients. And then they would throw it in a fire and inhale the smoke from that before a hunt, because they felt that the lead plant, essentially it had good medicine. It had the property that it could attract buffalo if you need to hunt buffalo. So let's see. I don't really want the herb store just yet. This is kind of a more Oh, well, actually, if we're gearing up for war with the Dwemer, that might be worth getting. So, let's see, level up
Don't
unit.
do that.
What do we got here? Warrior Spirit. Ooh, I like that. There's a really good reason why I like this, and it's because when we do end up fighting the Dwemer, the only thing that affects the Dwemer at all, really, is spirit magic. So that's one reason I was building another cleric, just to have more of that. But now my mage has it as well, which that's handy to see. It looks like they've retreated. Let's deal with the wind elemental and yeah, move on. But yeah, so like I read through kind of these guides that people had written down based on Native American traditions, and I think he'll be okay. I think I can run him over there and be okay. So and so that using that we could figure out, oh, the Native Americans knew of this plant, and well, the people who lived in this area knew of this plant, so it must have grown here. So we'll add that to the list of here's something that we want to consider planting. Another source that we actually used was we would go to, there was this historical archive, and they had old journals, and we found a couple journals that had been written by kind of housewives who, like, from the early immigration into the region. So, yeah, about 100 years or so ago, maybe a little bit older than that. And they had actually in their journals pressed, you know, they picked flowers and they pressed them in between the pages. And based on those flowers, we were able to identify species that had gone locally extinct in the area but still were around in other places. So we were able to bring them back in because we knew, oh, they're native to here. So just kind of like, oftentimes you have to do like these little historical investigations. So in order to do this type of thing. So anyway, we're moving our armies forward. I feel like once this guy and this guy are near the portal, we can probably consider going through it. What I should do though is I need to get, well, once the fortress is built, I think it can hold off any kind of like smaller invasion coming in. So we won't have to worry as much about just them peppering us occasionally. So I can start, honestly, I'm tempted to start setting some people through. Let's do it.
Attention!
Now, this guy, I expect, yeah, you see this creepy place. Evil Hill, or Evil Forest. And yeah, there's extra building upkeep. It has no production. Like, you can't build on this terrain and be able to survive. So, you also take 3 spirit magic per, you know, and it heals your enemy too. So it's gnarly, and it's got gooey things growing in it, and just like, yeah, it's a shattered, destroyed realm. So let's see here. More settlers. Oh, I think I built the settler. The idea was maybe claiming a holy site. So I do need to get, like, I need to up my, oh shoot, well, that's fine. I ordered him to defend, but I can also move this warrior forward. Because I don't want one warrior in the area, because when the Dwemer do attack, and you see there's a lot of good resources that are exposed within here. So, like, you'll often see, like, a lot of gold, or nephil metal, or whatever they call it, and a bunch of other goodies, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, I wonder if catapults take damage per turn on this or not. It just says damage to units per turn, but you would think like a catapult wouldn't take damage, because it's like a noxious aura that's causing all the problems, not a I don't know. So what I'm probably gonna do is, yeah, I kind of did that wrong actually. I might actually send them all back and let them heal up, and then go in as a big group.